I was on Harvard on what they call Nieman Fellowship, which is a year-long academic fellowship at Harvard in which you can take any course you want at the university. It's an amazing year. And I felt after that year, I wanted to challenge myself and maybe write a book. Right after the fellowship, I had some time off with a friend. So we went west and we took the southern route. So you go through Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama and all these little towns that were already blown apart economically, but you come, a couple blocks or a mile to the high school football stadium, and they were just fabulous. They were beautiful. They clearly, to me, were shrines and temples to people's lives. That's where you put your hopes and dreams on a Friday night. And so from there, I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and then decided to do something. I found Odessa pretty quickly from college recruiters and took the shot and went down there in the summer of 1988. And I was nervous because I knew it was a good story, and I was hoping to get permission. We didn't talk long. We just made arrangements for me to go down there. He seemed very affable and he was interested in it. As it turns out, we obviously had our differences, but then I went down, I presented myself to the school board. I met the athletic director and met with them. And look, they were very proud of the program. And I get that there was a lot to be proud of, but there was a lot of darkness that at least happened the year I was there, and I was duty bound to report it. The book itself was very empathetic to the coach, very empathetic to the players. And the players have stood by every word of it. It was legendary at that time because it was a scrappy place. It was West Texas. I mean, a place is ugly when other Texans make fun of it, which was Odessa. It always had kind of a chip on its shoulder, but it had this magnificent high school team because it was such a part of the culture. They weren't bigger. They were in better condition, and they had a training program that now every other school has copied. But at the time, it was very, very unique. You learn the high school plays in elementary school. There was a beautiful indoor facility for weightlifting. And, so when you played four quarters, you really, really played four quarters. And it was kind of the David versus the Goliath. They would go in and beat the bigger teams from Houston and Dallas. The stadium was, I forget how much, I think it cost $6 million in the mid 80s. It seated 19,000. It was magnificent. So between winning and location in the middle of West Texas and just having kids who grew up and aspiring to be, wanting to be Permian football players, it was a very, very special, legendary program. You have to get prior permission. I mean, you just show up, that's not going to work. And I did. And then you learn to really shut up and be a fly on the wall. There's a tendency of journalists to ask questions. They want to know everything. And that moment will come. But your job is really to, particularly with the coaches, to be a fly on the wall. And then your job is to very slowly get to know the kids. And the only way to do that, the only way to get their trust was to move down there with my kids, to make a commitment. If the kids in particular see a commitment, then they'll open up. And it takes time. You got to go to every practice. The practices are boring. They practice at 6 a.m. and then 2:30 in the afternoon. You just show up at things and you keep showing up. And after a while, they say, I guess that guy's here to stay. And the kids became really good friends of mine.